Dan, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
I tested it earlier and it was working.
Okay, any public comment, none here,
Nothing.
none written,
Nope.
anybody online? No.
No.
Okay. Commissioner report.
All right, employees. So I'm happy to report we are at full staff. We hired Nicole Mackey in
September 25th.
she started. She comes with quite many years of truck driving experiences, mainly as a truck driver. So far she's working out well. We've been trying to train her in on the snowplow. She will be running Highway 2 from 112 to the roundabout, and then also the 112 out to 13. So yeah, she's been a good addition so far. We did lose another employee then. Tyler Pierce went back to H Window. That's where he had come from. They offered him a job, matched our wage, and he, I know his boy is getting to the age where he's starting wrestling and in sports, and he wanted more time in the winter time to be available for the sports thing. So he moved on. But when we had interviewed Nicole, we had two good interviews. Talked to Dan, and we offered to Ted Brissett right away. So Tyler was done on Friday and Ted started the next Monday. So Ted lives in Mellon. He's many years of logging trucks and some equipment work. He will be running US 2 from the east end of Ashland to Birch Hill. So far he's working out great too. So it is. Birch Hill and the Bad River Bridge are two of our bad spots. You know, I mean, that bridge ices up on a regular basis, and Birch Hill is always tough because we get snow just that last half mile, 3/4 mile, and the rest of the road is fine. So, but yeah, I have confidence they're both going to work out well, and yeah, I'm happy to be at full staff. It's been a while. So, any questions on employees? Move into work schedule. So we've been getting our trucks ready, our equipment ready, everything for winter. So far we still have some trucks to get ready. So we have our old reserve fleet yet on hand, but we use some of our plow trucks pull trailers in the summer, and they're still set up for hauling salt sand. So I think by the end of this week, we'll probably be pretty well set with our main fleet ready to plow snow. So we've been patching the salt sand shed roof in Glidden was curling up and starting to leak. So we're tearing that off and putting some steel, just with our own crew doing that. Should finish that up this week. We've been brush mowing down on County F. Finished what rut paving we're going to do on GG. If you guys remember, we took that road tour and there were some pretty bad spots down GG between Mellon and Clam Lake. We did some rut paving through portions of that, and it definitely helped. There's still some bad areas that still need some pothole patching and other work, but hopefully the rut paving will get us through till 2026. I anticipate we'll have to do more next year. You know, there'll be more winter damage on it, but it's actually a big improvement for what it was in the spring. I don't know if anybody's been through there, but it has. We've been doing some shouldering repairs, just a truck out fixing the low shoulders here and there where needed, getting ready for winter. Mixed salt sand and got most of that hauled out, I believe now. Fixing signs and guardrails. We finished up some crack sealing the other week. That's kind of what we've been doing. Obviously we're coming into winter here, ready to snow plow. We got plenty of patching to do between the county highways and the state highways. Yeah, so we have crews out doing that as much as possible. soon as we can here, we will switch over and start cutting. Continue our brush cutting on GG as we've been widening that out for the last few winters. That's been going good, so. So yeah, that's the basic work schedule. Anybody has any questions?
If you have the snow plow November, December, that comes out of this year's budget, right?
Correct.
So if we luck out with this nice weather,
Yeah.
you could get 1 week where it destroys it. Then if you're not snow plowing, your budget could be helped a little bit.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
still gonna spend it in other areas.
yeah, we'll
but-
spend it in other areas and, you know, we had a pretty bad winter last year, so we didn't come out very well after winter, but yeah, no doubt it'll save on the overtime and material costs, you know. I mean, the guys are still here every day, so we're still paying them. but-
Right now, probably good through about Monday of next week.
Hopefully, yeah.
Whatever happens.
Yeah. I'm on call here opening weekend, so I'm hoping it's nice and I don't have to bother the guys. They can all hunt if they want.
I know, what scares me is, the theory is, well, the warmer winter, less snow, but when the bay stays open, maybe not for me, but Ash in this area could get hit if that bay stays open, so hopefully the weather stays nice.
We have 3 inches of snow in Butternut.
Yeah. Already. Yeah.
They were actually out, the guys were out plowing, salting and butternut yesterday.
Yeah, it was the
Oh, yeah?
weirdest thing
Yeah.
because everything was like, you know,
The melon, there was nothing.
no, it was just looked out and I thought, well, crap,
Yeah.
but it's pretty much gone now.
Do you think you guys make more money if you plow or not? You get paid for plowing as far as from the state?
Yes. So, yeah, we make money when we're plowing for the state. It definitely, you have a year like last year, you know, we spent a lot of money on winter maintenance for the state. There's no doubt it helps pay for our trucks and our equipment, you know, more hours on them helps pay for them.
That'd be the overtime.
Pays the overtime.
Oh, that's-
Yeah, the state
Time and
pays their
materials,
overtime,
right?
yeah, time and materials, yeah. Yeah, the state is all billed at, yeah, like Gary said, time and materials, so it's all 100% covered. Well, the problem what happens is then they cut you back in the summer, because I mean, we basically have a contract for $1 million with the DOT. And X amount, about half of it's set aside for winter maintenance, and we spent well over that half already by May. So through the summer, they didn't want us doing a lot of work on their system, but then they did give us extra contact tracks for patching down on 13, you know, from Butternut south and well up toward Glidden a little bit
So
too, but
do you think
so
that
that helped.
that tour that we did, with Chance Green, do you think that helped?
I know it did. It didn't help as much as Gary would have liked it to help. It bumped us up a year,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
a year is a year, but
I mean-
I mean,
Where it's done, it's great.
yeah,
It just, the problem was is, you know, once you're gonna look at the patching and the paving, those two little sections is great. I'm concerned about how this road lasts till 27.
Yeah.
And
Did
it's
they
not
put
a
it up
county's issue.
Did they move it up to 26 now?
No, 26 is a culverts, 20, they moved it
Yeah.
up a year.
they did.
But
It was
26 is
27,
culverts,
28.
27 is paving, and let's hope it lasts that long. I mean, the patching might, but the rest of the road,
Yeah, well, what they did is that 100%
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Cause what did you guys, you patched it and then you kind of leveled it?
No, it's a material called mastic. It's kind of like a crack seal, but it has a grit or a rock in it. It's a slow process, but it's a good process. It just takes forever, it seems like, to get anything done.
I've
But
had locals tell me, hey, they appreciate what was done.
yeah,
You know, it's like I say, my concern is how does the whole road hold up, and we'll see next year. you
yeah.
know, maybe.
So, I mean, to give it in context, we spent about 170,000 on that project. So the the two patches, paving patches were what, a little over a half mile of total. That was 50,000 of it. So 120,000 did the patching, and that was between 6 and 7 miles in both lanes. So I mean, it would have been really nice to do more paving patches, but they're very, very expensive compared to the patching, you know, per foot. So
I see that same situation slowly developing north of Wooden.
it is,
And-
yes.
And like you say, Mike, I mean, we're talking 27 a day, that's a long time. You know,
Yeah.
but they moved it up a year.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Does that stuff last longer for plowing too then, when you're plowing snow? Or is it gonna rip out? Or is it gonna rip
We
out?
hope it stays at, I'm not gonna
They're
guarantee.
they're
anything.
gonna plow an inch or two higher than normal. We're gonna drive some snow.
You know, it,
Yeah,
I think some will come out, but I'm hoping the bulk will stay. It just depends on
Okay.
how it catches.
Was
But
that the first time we used it or what?
we did a bunch of it on 77 East, and
Oh, okay.
that helped decent,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 77, yeah.
So it does work, but you can't guarantee that it will stay in.
I mean,
It's
I would
just-
tell anybody, the DOT or the representatives, thank you for, because coming into Butternut on that northbound lane is certainly better than it was.
Yeah,
And like you say, I like, I concerned about the whole road, but we'll have to fight the state.
yeah. Another thing I could touch base on under the work schedule, I don't know if it'll happen. Town of Ashland lost their full-time employee to health problems.
Oh.
They're having trouble finding a replacement. They might have a guy on the line, but they don't know yet for sure. So I've talked to them. I've told them if they do not find anybody, come see me and we'll see what we can do to help you out. But I don't know how that's going to shake out. But just a heads up, we might need to give them a hand this winter if they do. Their previous full-time guy retired and he still helps out with some of the snow plowing, but they need one more for snow plowing. So it could end up we need to give a hand. I don't know.
That's a big area to plow too.
It is, yes. Yep. But it's just a heads up on it. Hopefully they had a guy that sounded interested, but we don't know. They didn't know yet. They haven't heard back from them yet. So yeah.
And you should always have kudos. I was at the town of agenda meeting last week and there were several comments, positive comments about the brushing. So
Okay, good.
let your guys know that, everybody's seen it and
Yeah. Yeah, it needs it. And F needs it, N needs it. So if the snow stays down, you know, we'll be able to work at it until it gets too deep. So maybe we'll get some time. We can go with a little snow, maybe up to a foot. So yeah, that'd be good. Construction. State Highway 13 in Mellon is substantially complete. I don't know if you guys noticed, when you came in, I had a picture up of the snowplow. They put in a center median there by the railroad track crossing, and our snowplow does not fit through the hole. I mean,
we just talked about that going into this one.
It-
Whoever engineered that didn't snowplow.
yeah, it'll fit through with the front plow. We'll have to lift the wing. I mean, to get through there. If they try to go through with the wing down, the wing's coming off. I mean, it's just all there is to it. It's too tight.
Going on, what's gonna last longer, the island or the snow?
I think the island will win. It's pretty hard. Yeah. And I've talked to Matt Dickinson as the DOT project engineer right from the get-go that why, and he insisted that it's a railroad requirement that it be like that, and they could not change it. Yeah, and there's no railroad tracks there. Yeah, it's a little bit upsetting just that, you know, they build a nice road and they have that narrow spot in there.
Mellon has a snowplow through. Did you do that?
We plow the highway, so they removed the snow out of the parking lanes. we just do the center line basically. So any parking areas, they plow or use their loader to push it out of there.
You see, they moved the buses up to the highway too now.
They did, yes. They have a bus lane along the front of the school along 13.
So if you come along and plow early, you push it into their lane
Mhm.
and then they're responsible to take it out of there for their
Yes.
buses.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't do anything. We just plow our trucks stayed on the center line
okay.
and the city takes care of anything outside of that. So,
A lot of trucks come on come on 77 from Michigan.
Gotta
They
turn
go
that
to the
corner
near mill and they gotta make that left turn onto DG.
with that meridian.
That looks a little snug in there.
you notice how narrow that turn lane is? I
Yeah.
mean, you drive in there in a pickup, it's like, whoa,
Yeah,
they didn't give a lot of room there either.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Yeah. you notice they kicked the GG traffic all the way to the right up tight against the curb and they painted in a big
Oh, that part, yeah.
Yeah.
center part for turning radius from both ways, you know, trucks coming from north can swing out and then the south, their trailers can go across there.
Are they all
But-
done in Mellon now or not?
Substantially, there's some punch list stuff. I know there's one busted curb that they figured they probably wouldn't get until next year. Some in the construction, I don't know if a truck backed onto it and busted a curb.
I'm looking for a water leak, so we'll see what happens here.
I know they did say something about some of the water valves are on an angle and they can't get their
Yeah,
tools on them.
I can't believe that. I mean, how did that happen?
I don't know.
I mean, I did that for a living. I put in water mains and I put in valves and they're always dead center when I get done.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that happened, cause
I-
we have engineers to watch that, but
I don't know if that means next year they're gonna have to do some dig ups to straighten them.
Oh,
isn't that something? Just spend all that money and then have to redo it.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I don't know much details other than that some of the water valves were tipped. So yeah, it looks good. Pavement has a few little ripples in it that would have been nicer if it was flatter, but
Yeah.
the overall job, it looks nice. It's a pretty nice upgrade for Mellon.
Oh, yeah, 100% better.
Yeah,
because when you come into town from the north, it's dressed up
it looks
a
nice.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
The appearance is really good.
Mhm. So the paving project out on US 2 is completed. It's been now for a while, so that's all done from, that was from Bad River Bridge Government Road there out to Iron County line, so that is complete. I don't know if anybody's been out US 2, the Bear Trap Bridge, we've fought with that for years. I've been here since 2013 and we fought with the potholes on that bridge. So the state hired us a separate contract we had Northwoods mill off the pavement. We repaired the bridge deck underneath the concrete and then Northwoods put a new asphalt lift on it. So it rides really nice. I've gotten a lot of compliments from folks that live out that way about the bridge is a big upgrade. So that came good. So that's the basic update for this year. 2024, as of right now, there's no DOT road project scheduled in Ashland County. There is gonna be a new bridge in Mellon. Tyler Streeter Avenue there. We'll have a new bridge next summer. So that was supposed to go this year, but it got kicked out a year. So otherwise there would have been no access to Main Street. So that will be happening next year. As far as the county highway next year, it's in the budget, we budgeted for GG. Mineral Lake North, approximately 5 miles or so, just depends on dollar amounts. I did put in a STP application through the state for that section too. So that was due October 27th. Have not heard back on anything on awards on that yet. So, if that would be awarded, we would have to rethink where we're going to spend our county dollars next year. But as far as LRIP funding for this cycle, every other year you get funded LRIP dollars. we will be getting 150,000 in the LRIP discretionary, 177,000 in the LRIP supplementary, and 85,000 in the regular entitlement program. So it's a total of 413,383 that will be. Right now, it's planned to be applied to GG next year. But like I say, we'll see where that federal dollars go if we get them or not. So.
And you said Mineral Lake east or west? You're going east, right? Towards Mellon.
Toward Mellon,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, Mineral Lake West, we did that 5 miles last
Right.
year. And then the 6 or 7 miles below that is scheduled for 26, and that have that federal money for that. So yeah, hopefully we get the STP for the north part, and we would do all the way from Mineral Lake to Highway 13 would be included in that money. So there's one problem with that is, some of that is getting bad, but if you get the federal money, it's probably at least 3 years out before you get it. So we'll have to, same as we're doing on the south end, limp it through until that time. But yeah, we did get McCarthy Creek down on GG, kind of halfway between Mellon and Clam Lake. That is funded in the program to be replaced in probably 26 also.
Are the towns doing any major work as far as bridges?
Right now, the only one is the one in Mellon, city of Mellon on Tyler. The town of White River just put an application in for right out of Marengo here. What's that road name? Right behind the fairgrounds. It's an old bridge. It's been closed for many years. They have the snowmobile bridge over the top, but bridge funding is at 100% for towns right now, 100% funded. So they put an application in there for that one, and in the last couple cycles.
Reopen that?
Yes, the last few cycles, the bridge, the state can't find enough bridges, local bridges to spend money on. So I have every expectation that it'll be funded at 100% for that bridge.
That was replacement bridge rather than a new bridge. I'm thinking about the culvert down here.
Oh.
On Belfield Road.
Yeah. So that's not considered a bridge, so it's not in the federal system. A bridge has to be 20-foot span. I believe that's a 10 or 12-foot box culvert. So that doesn't qualify under the federal bridge program.
Once you put that box over in, that really worked.
Yeah, the problem is that the creek keeps moving around.
It does, yeah. They're looking, Marty was at it last week. I attended. There was a flood workshop down in Mellon, and that was one of the spots they really looked at. They're gonna pursue funding to do something different there, because the creek in the 2016 flood, it blew that totally out, and the creek keeps wanting to move. It's actually hitting the road here and then bending around and back to the culvert now. So it's a poor situation. Yes. So that's my update on construction. Right. So in your packet, there's some maps I put in here. County owns a 40, a quarter mile off of Poppy Road. And if you look on the map there, you can see the milestone has their big quarry is right there. Our property is a quarter mile away to the west. If you want it, but hit share screen, yeah. Hold it up here. I guess I can show you here. So you can see this is the milestone quarry. The county owns this 40 right here. It's in the same hillside as this quarry. I believe it's all would be gravel and rock in the lower half, the bottom this way is kind of a lower swampier area. This is all a big hillside and rock. So my thought was is that it's landlocked. We don't have a legal access point to it right now.
But the tax on that about maybe I think from a Dalton.
Yeah.
And we just said, well, there's gravel on it at the time. And we talked to Emmer and Emmer said, well, we should just hang on to it.
Sure.
So that's how the county got title and there was no access.
Yeah.
We never
So-
got any access.
You know, I mean, I've talked to Dan about it and he's unsure with this new court ruling. Even for sure what's gonna happen with that, but. So I've been in contact with this landowner is Russ Odovero. To try to get a easement right along his south line to access this property. You know, I just feel. It's in the county's best interest to develop our own source of gravel. You know, there is a big pit here, but you know, costs keep rising. We can control the costs. And make our own material. We've been having trouble with getting decent. It's like all rock. It doesn't have any binder and it just kind of sprays off the shoulders and it's not a great product right now. So I'm just looking for the committee to agree or disagree that we should continue to seek this easement. You know, if there's some contingencies, you know, whether or not with this new court ruling, we can even do this, whether or not, you know, we can come to an agreement with the Odovero family about easement. You know, if you guys are in support of it, it would probably move on either to finance or PPLE for further negotiations down the road. But this one is
Since we talked about buying it or them selling it or
the
property.
Odoveros.
Yeah.
They have not mentioned it.
Oh.
You know, he did mention that first, when I was first talking to him, he mentioned us buying a 3-acre strip along there, which would be 100-foot width.
Okay.
But his latest, he told me that they think, nah, maybe they would just like to go the easement route. So,
Oh,
I don't know which way, but
He also owns the next 40 south. too.
he does not. That is owned by Clemdale. So I have tried to contact Carl Dale. I've sent them 2 or 3 letters now, and I have not received any response. The problem with that, talking to some of the folks at the courthouse is it's still in Carl's name. They haven't transferred ownership. It looks like he died back in 2008. Clem did. It's in Clem's name, which they never. Yeah, they never did the estate, so it's still in his name. And now, you know, I don't know, does he have a will or not? I know, you know.
You gotta jump across the property.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
you'd have to come into, he owns both of these
Oh, he owns
40s.
both of them.
You'd have to come past it and then in.
I think the easiest way is the way you're looking. Yeah.
This would be nicer just because this is mainly all field already, old field. It would be easier and actually. This ravine is starting right here. It's very little here and same with this one. This one is a little bit bigger, but
He's got a apron on that piece of property.
Okay.
Down in the woods.
okay.
He's got that's where he's got a day frame cabin, so he wouldn't sell it.
But I know, you know, that. If we could get easement along his, that would be a better option. But when they haven't probated, you know, is there a will? Who owns it? I believe his sister has died since that time. So do we have money owners? You know, I don't know.
I think that road that you're talking about is pretty good for this. I think it's all high and dry.
It's a decent route. I walked it. There's maybe a small, just a field drainage here swale. These 2 ravines would need some pretty good work to get across them. They're deep. But I did have Tom from forestry walk it to look for logging. You know, at the time he told me probably 30,000+ was stumpage, and then when he sent me the paperwork, he said maybe only 11. But he said that was figuring at rock bottom prices, rock bottom yields, everything just as low as it could possibly go. He thought. So,
I think we could go forward we could get that easement. This, don't even worry about the Supreme Court ruling, because that's something that doesn't affect the future as much as the past. And I'm not the attorney, but their ruling says if you took the land, they were entitled to what happened at that time, not something that happens in the future. So if I took your 40 and I got 40,000 profit, you might be entitled to that, but you're not entitled to something in the future at this time. I would think we should go forward and look at that easement.
I think it's a good idea to have an alternate source.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the prices keep going up. You know, I would be interested in developing the pit. We would sell possibly to the townships, whatever surrounding towns, if they would, we have a crusher and they could put up, you know, 5,000-10,000 tons of pile.
What would be a rough guess of the volume of material in there?
That hill is big.
Is it one rock or is it?
Well, you know, so that's the whole thing with it. We don't have access to it. We've never dug in it. I walked it along the base of that slope. I mean, there's lots of boulders, and you look in that where the ravine is, there's all boulders in there. But so I think there's some be like call it a gravel pit toward the bottom, but then up the hill, I believe it's all the bedrock, same as that quarry there. How much overburden is on there, I don't know. So my intention would be to get an easement, get a road in, have forestry come in and log it, and then we would assess it for gravel. And at that point, you know, make a determination, is it feasible or not? And if it is, we would move forward. If it's not, then, you know, probably look at selling the property, because it wouldn't be.
Yeah, we wasn't
And
happening.
now we would have an easement to this property that, you know, I don't know what we'll have to pay for the easement. You know, the highway department would probably have a fair amount of cost in developing the road, and the stumpage would help for sure. But then I think if it didn't work out in the future, sale of the property would cover the road cost, you know, so we wouldn't lose money on it per se. No.
Gives us an easement, we still don't have to pay taxes on it. And so he'd be better off selling
To
this.
sell it.
And because otherwise he's still gonna have to pay taxes on it. You know, that this might be a thing that,
Although, if I'm the landowner, I'm thinking, I'll give you easement, but that road I can use to get to all of my 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because and either way, I mean.
you could put that on the deed that.
He does
you know, if
have,
You buy it,
you know, this access into it, and looks like might be something, and then he has
Right.
another road that way, but.
that's what I'm just saying, you could put that on the deed, you'd say that he has the right to use the road.
Sure, and that would be fine. I mean,
You know, but I'm just saying, might be better off just to buy it.
I told him that's what I would prefer. But-
If you told him that he's gonna have to still pay taxes on it,
Sure.
and if he wants to use the road, you put that in the deed.
Well, how does that work then if you get an easement, if the property changes hands or they get deceased, and that automatically shuts off and you have to deal with the.
Well, see
Or is it
that,
99-year lease
Depends
or
on
what
the
is it?
easement's worded.
Well,
yeah,
that's what I mean.
I
You
mean,
have to have it, so.
he did come talk to me, and he said he'd like to make it the easement only for Ashland County. And I told him, I want to be honest, our intention is to develop this for gravel. If for some reason we couldn't develop for gravel, then we would need to sell it. So I would want an easement that can pass to the next owner. I mean, that's in my opinion what we need to have, because otherwise we could put all this money into a road and the gravel part doesn't work out, and then we have a landlocked property with little to no value, you know, only has value to the adjoining landowners, but not to somebody outside.
I think we just give them authority to move forward with approaching them again and see what they come up with.
I'll make a motion if that's not be, not no fact, yeah.
Yeah.
To negotiate it.
I will second it.
Marty made the motion, Bill seconded. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 7.
So purchase of a supervisor truck. We had in our budget this year 35,000 to replace one of our half-ton pickups. We did this year, Ford, we've been mainly getting Fords for the last quite a while. They've had very good government pricing that went away with the shortages. So the 35 was not enough for a half ton. But in thinking about it, there's been some new changes with what we're required to do for flagging. We need the rumble strips anytime on the state highways. So our half-ton pickups, we can't carry the rumble strips. They go in a receiver carrier on the back hitch, and it puts the bumper right to the ground. I mean, there's no, it's not, you can't do it. It's not safe. It's just not. So we were thinking if we would go to a 3/4 ton supervisor pickup, it would be supervisor truck for a couple years, and then it would go down the line into the fleet for the flagging crew. And it would allow them to haul the rumble strips. We can haul them, we do haul them right now with our bigger 1-ton trucks, but we don't like to have our summer help drive them. They're just a little bit too big and it's a little iffy. So we like them to drive a regular pickup. That way with this, they would be able to haul their necessary supplies. So we had 35,000 budgeted. We plan to sell two other trucks, older trucks. Number 13 is a 2000. It's actually a big truck, but the frame is getting to where we no longer want to use it for ourselves. We need to sell it. We're anticipating about $20,000 for that truck. And then 23D is a 2008 half-ton pickup. Pretty wore out, maybe up to 4,000 for that. So with we had sold that tractor earlier this year, if you remember. We got 47,800 for that, and then we purchased a broom for 40,700. So we had a little extra. So between it all, we have, and actually that 74 number isn't right. My shop superintendent Bob told me the other day, the plow truck we got rid of this year, we got 70,000 for it. So we actually have 79,000 left in our equipment per budget. We would like to put toward purchasing a 3/4 ton truck. We would buy it right now. Yeah.
Use this budget up.
Yes. Yep.
Would they have any in the year sale?
No.
No such thing as that anymore.
No, it's not that easy to find one. We haven't found one locally, but we did find one. Actually, it's in a 3/4 ton truck available. So 60,000, 59,900.
Truck manufacturers, all the games that it would be.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, looking for approval to purchase this pickup.
I'll make a motion to. We've got 3/4 ton. Yes, oh, that's,
Yeah.
it's here, but I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I would second that motion.
Okay, just a question. On your budget here, the grader, you didn't buy it. Or
No,
you
but-
didn't grader, right?
No, that's making payments.
Okay.
We purchased that grader, well, actually the tractor and the grader, we
Right.
borrowed money last year. We actually received the tractor in October.
Oh, yeah.
It took that long to come. So,
The cost of that truck will come out of the 23 budget.
yes,
Cause back then, we were just gonna buy. Part of that work, we added a grader to it, remember? We added.
that was in the 22 budget, but yeah, that's,
So we added
Yeah.
a grader, so.
yep.
The grader, we just got this October.
No, the grader we got right away. That
Yeah.
was July of 22 that was authorized. The grader, McCoy had that in stock. We purchased that immediately. We ordered a tractor. We decided to go with the John Deere. There was the discussion on the John Deere, the New Holland. We went with the John Deere. It took over a year to come in. We just received that this fall.
That's the price.
They kept the price. Yep. And they actually provided us with a tractor to use for mowing this summer at no cost. Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. Well, we were like, guys, we bought a tractor last July and we don't have anything. What are we gonna mow with?
Did you have to pay the money down?
We did not. We paid for it when we got it.
That worked out all right, though, just.
It
yeah,
did.
we-
Yeah, just had to wait.
Some motion and second to purchase this truck on this year's budget. Any other questions? Favor say aye.
And I,
Opposed? Motion carried.
what color are you getting though? Cause if it's gonna be a bad color, we're not approving it.
Just red.
Is that what you partially?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe what you should do is on that tractor. Whoever you purchased it from, you should go back and say, hey, we would put a sign on purchase from so-and-so for a fee. Everything.
Kind of like naming right.
Yeah, naming rights.
Did something like this, did you bring that up to Dan or no?
I guess not the truck. I did not, just the run.
I have a question, and this was probably legality of those rumble strips. When you put a rumble strip down, the sign, does that sign have to be right on top of the rumble strips? Because I've had people call me and say, oh, I see the sign for rumble strips, and that's when I nailed them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a rumble strip ahead sign and there's
Yes.
one right at them.
Okay.
It's the DOT has a layout, you know, how
I'll
to
ju-
put
I'll
the
just
signs
tell 'em
and,
that.
and we do
Pay
it
attention to the first one.
as they lay it out, yeah. Yep. So 77 comes from the east down into Mellon, comes down the hill. Pulled it up on the map here. Comes down, see the mills, the speed limit changes to 25 right after the North Country Lumber. And they would like to see the speed limit slowed down actually to the top of the hill or farther back.
To what?
You know, I don't know.
Because I'm gonna be real honest, 25, I can walk that fast.
Yeah, as a guy.
People
I
aren't gonna
agree.
do that. But if it was reasonable,
I mean, to me, if they went to 45 at the top of the hill and 35 down at the bottom of the hill and then
Yeah.
25 where it's at, might be reasonable.
right?
It's going to the Traffic Safety Committee. Did I put the date
I
in
think on
there?
the 16th.
Yeah, that's the Sheriff's Department later this month, I think the 16th. They're looking for support from this committee. You know, when we talk to the DOT, if this committee supports a change.
How far roughly from there, if you're going 55 to 45, wherever you start to 45, how far down before you hit the 35 is that?
Right now, it's 55, right
Right.
to
But
the
if you
25.
If you reduce it up there, is that a half mile, quarter mile? Oh, those are.
So
40, sorry.
these are 40s,
Okay.
so we'd be up.
1, 2,
a little
probably,
bit.
probably 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, probably. Yep, across.
And I, like you say, I like your proposal, 45, 35, things like, but I have seen police go to that 25, and I can walk faster than that.
I mean, you would have trouble with getting people to do that
Right,
enforcement.
right.
Just like you do on GG.
Yeah,
GG, the 25-mile-an-hour sign is way too far out there, as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned.
it is. I
It should,
agree.
it should be changed, but.
Issue, I think, on 77, like that steep grade. If you could get a 45 over the top of that steep grade, and then, cause it's hard to break, they got the big log trucks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's a good idea. Just depends on where you started. I think the 45 should be over the hill at some point.
Top of the hill.
yeah, I mean, I personally would, Matt, your recommendation for that, but just so they don't slow it up too fast to like the 25, that's. I'm sorry, but too many roads, I see towns posting 25 and I could get out and go backwards faster than that. But if that's you know, whatever I would kind of leave it up to Matt to make that recommendation. to
I was
them.
gonna say, is that, do we make that determination? or
Well,
does
I
the
mean,
state set it up?
The states has the full control over it.
Okay.
It's just you know, this committee really doesn't have anything with it other than we can put our support behind it or not,
And
you
that's
know?
it.
Yeah.
And we got to put up with what they put up with.
Yeah, yep.
So we live with what they put up. So, okay.
But yeah, when I go to the meeting next week, you know, I can say, you know, the highway committee supports changing this or not, or, you know,
And there's about snowmobilers going back to Minnesota.
Yep.
From all that hill.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skiers and stuff, snowmobilers, four-wheelers, everything goes. Yeah.
So. Whatever the committee's recommendation is.
Well, I'll make if you don't know whether there's discussion, I'll make a motion to approve this, to bring it to the state.
They want to put a speed limit in there or no?
Well, so we
I mean,
have the
you-
option over it anyway.
I mean, you can recommend that it would change to 45 at the top of the hill and 35 at the, near the bottom, but, you know. or-
Okay. I'll make that motion, so it's 45 on, by the top of the hill, and then 35 when you get down to the halfway down to the bottom of the hill or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you did it at the base of the hill, where, what was that, the old, there was like a auto body shop or
Yeah.
something, just in that area. And then it would be
Base.
35, because right now it's 55 right to the mills, which, and that's kind of
Yeah.
on a corner. It's not a great situation
And
to have that it goes that far in.
then you got, like I said, you got houses there too.
Yeah.
Crossing, get nailed, you know. Pulling your driveway.
Okay, so we have a motion for a second. Martin, second. Other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you.
Now, how long will that take then? Just like a year down the road or what?
It just depends on what the DOT traffic engineer, if he agrees or not, or will study it, or
Oh,
it might take a while.
Yeah, I think that guy will come and come to the meeting.
So every quarter, I think the traffic safety committee meets, and it's, you know, myself along with the sheriff, city police, DOT, state patrol, traffic engineer, DOT. We meet, and if there's any traffic concerns, or the DOT usually does a presentation on how many crashes in the county, you know, injuries, deaths, just to go over what has happened with traffic. But it is the platform if there's any changes wanted on the state system to request that. And I believe Jeff Earhart contacted the sheriff department to get on the agenda to request this, so.
Highway committee meeting thing, and I think this came up because each committee can pick their own time. And there are some committees where we have folks, I think finance is one or something where some folks are having a hard time meeting at a certain time, so we wanted to have everybody talk about, does this work? And if it works, we'll keep it the same, or if somebody says 9 o'clock's not a good time. I think, you know, I don't want to speak for Mike, but I think it's worked, but if somebody thinks something else works better,
I think this is just fine because we'll be dodging gear for another month or so. You know, if we make it later, so.
okay. 9's still okay,
But that's perfect time, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, I mean, we're all retired, but I mean,
Oh, no.
well, some of us are, most of us are, but I mean, the common person that wants to come to this meeting that works would never be able to come. So I mean,
Well, they could go on Zoom.
yeah,
I mean,
At work,
if the
though.
committee would change after an election, you could always revisit it.
Right.
If needed.
so for now, we'll stay with 9 o'clock.
I'm really happy with that.
yeah, I mean, I think it's good too, but like I said, the working person, if they did want to come, they'd have a hard time.
That's when would you suggest changing it to?
You have to change it to like 5 or 6. You know,
Then the only problem is you have, not maybe not so much here, but you'd have employees who would have to come on.
come back,
I mean,
yeah,
and I understand both ways because.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess whatever works for the committee. And
we've been doing this
and
forever
you're-
anyway, right?
You're
Nine
right,
o'clock.
in the new election, you could have different people on and they might have different hours. or something. Okay, so we'll leave that one alone and then winter road school.
So WCHA Winter Road School will be January 22nd to 24th. Just putting it out there. If anybody is interested in attending this year, should get a hold of me to get, yes, Chula Vista, to get signed up to attend.
We do have, Dick was gonna go last year and then couldn't, so we do have his registration paid. So they just kept that registration, so there is one paid already.
Should have got mine for a couple years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, sometime in December, they want the registrations in by, so.
Would you just send a reminder again, like in a week or two,
Sure.
so everybody has a chance to look at that, those dates. And you got 3 good flyer miles or what?
Or driving.
They don't have a winter road school, don't they?
No, they don't. You got a heat advisor.
Heat advisor.
When are you going? In January?
On 9th.
Oh, I think I'm going in February.
I won't be down there in February yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll look at
January,
that.
January, February, beginning of March.
Okay, so everybody kind
Yeah, just tell them when I
of,
was
if you
coming
guys
along.
just send the committee a reminder of
Okay.
those dates again.
January.
Yeah.
Cool. Week before I'm in Madison.
Okay.
One thing, so I'll see that. Okay,
Yep. This,
then,
Do we have anything for the next agenda?
well, that's it. Do we have right now?
we don't have anything right now. I would expect the next one to probably be January.
Oh,
Like the second Monday usually?
Yeah, generally.
Would be the 8th.
Yeah.
8th of January?
Day before you leave.
Yeah. As long as we're talking about other things, does everybody go run for?
Well, wait 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we have that for January 8th. Hold on.
Okay.
And then anything else for the highway committee?
Is there any agenda items anybody wants to bring up, talk about?
Can we bring up what I mentioned? Because we can't bring it up here because there's an on the agenda, but can we bring up the speed limit for GG?
Sure.
Okay.
I got a question for you. Any county board member eligible to go to the road school, or do they have to be a member of this committee?
I mean, that would be a decision that you would make, I guess. I mean, the highway committee is paid for by the highway department, you know, if any of them would like to attend. If another board member, I would think, I don't know who would pay for that. You know, because you're not on this committee. That's just my opinion. I don't know that. Maybe that's a question for Dan. I don't know.
The county board chair can let anybody go he wants. And we'll figure out how to pay for it.
I would hopefully say that the people that on this committee would get the most out of it,
Oh, yes,
Right.
yeah.
you know, because if we have somebody else going that, you know.
Yeah, but you have people who just got on the county board who are not familiar with all of these different areas and they would like to expand a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I'm just questioning.
No, I mean, Dan said if the board or the chair wants to allow it, that's the decision they can make.
Good. And before we talk about county board stuff, do we have, if nothing else,
I don't think so.
we'll have a motion to adjourn, because I don't want to talk about that in this session.
Oh, we adjourn.
Are you,
I'll second it.
Rich, second? Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now, Bill.
Just wait.
Um,
Just wait.